The shuttle ripped through the jade-colored clouds like a falling ember. Plasma streaks lit the cockpit. Glass as Commander Rylan Kane gritted his teeth and rode the turbulence down toward Velar Prime, a world whispered about even among veterans of the Terran. Expeditionary Core. Below, the planet shimmered with impossible colors, forests of crystalline trees, rivers glowing like veins of mercury, and mountains shaped like spears of glass. Every sensor reading screamed hostile biosphere. But Rylan wasn't here to explore. He was here to end a war. His mission was simple, on paper. Infiltrate the capital hive of the Velari Dominion. Locate the alien queen. Terminate. Rylan had survived the siege of Phobos, the gas mines of Sigma Eridani, and the collapse of Earth's outer colonies. He wasn't afraid of death, only of failure. The queen was said to command armies with her mind alone. If she fell, the Velari would crumble. He tightened his exosuit's straps, loaded his pulse rifle, and whispered, "For Earth." The shuttle's bay doors opened. Wind screamed. He jumped. He landed in what had once been a battlefield, now silent, littered with twisted alien war machines. The air shimmered with spores and faint bioluminescent dust. Every step crackled underfoot like glass shards. Through the broken haze, Rylan saw movement. A group of Velari soldiers, tall, blue-skinned humanoids in living armor that pulsed faintly with biolight. They were dragging a wounded female figure by her arms. He raised his rifle, zoomed his scope, then froze. The woman's crest was silver instead of the usual blue. Her armor was shattered, her psychic crown broken, yet she radiated a strange calm even as her captors mocked her. One of them spat, "Traitor queenling! The hive disowns you, a queenling." They left her bleeding in the mud as their skimmer departed. Rylan's orders whispered in his ear, "Do not engage unless the queen herself is confirmed." But something twisted in his chest. She wasn't a soldier, she was abandoned. He lowered his rifle. Damn the mission. He ran to her side. She looked up as he approached, eyes glowing faintly with biolight, her voice weak but clear. "Human?" she asked, disbelief coloring the word. "Stay still," he said, kneeling. "You're bleeding out." Her hand shot up, reflexively. A faint pulse of psychic energy flared, knocking his rifle away. But she gasped in pain and collapsed again. Rylan pulled off his glove and pressed a field patch to her wound. The bioscanner in his wrist flared red. Her blood composition was incompatible with every med protocol. But she met his gaze again, trembling. "They will return," she whispered. "They will kill us both. Then we move," Rylan said. "Come on, can you walk?" "I am daughter of the queen you seek." He froze. Every instinct told him to finish the mission right there, to use her as bait, to end the war with one shot. But her eyes, those alien, luminous eyes, weren't the eyes of an enemy. They were eyes filled with sorrow, with something achingly human. "I'm not here to kill you," he lied softly. "Not anymore." They fled into the crystalline forest. Each tree refracted light like a prism, scattering rainbows on their armor. Drones buzzed above, searching. When one came too close, Rylan dropped prone and fired once. Clean headshot. Kalis staggered beside him, clutching her side. "You risk much, Terran. Name's Rylan, and yeah, I'm famous for stupid risks. You saved an enemy." He glanced at her. "Maybe I just hate bullies." She tilted her head, studying him as if through layers of thought. "Your kind burns worlds to save its pride, yet you stop for one wounded stranger." "Maybe that's why we're still human," he said. They found refuge inside a hollowed-out spire, half temple, half living organism. Veins of light pulsed in the walls, whispering faint alien hymns. Kalis collapsed against a bioluminescent altar. This was once a sanctuary of the bonded. Now only ghosts remain. Rylan knelt beside her and activated his med gel. "Hold still," she caught his hand. "Your medicine will not mend me. Let me try anyway." A silence passed. Then she placed her palm against his forehead. A surge of energy, cool, electric, impossibly vast, flooded his mind. He saw flashes. Alien children playing beneath silver trees, cities rising from oceans, then fire and screaming skies as Terran bombardments fell. He gasped. "You're showing me. Your mind must see what your orders blind," she whispered. "The war was never what they told you. He fell back shaking. "You linked us," she nodded weakly. "Our bond now is life or death. If one of us perishes, both will," Rylan cursed softly. "Guess I'm stuck with you then." Her lips curved faintly. Perhaps the stars willed it. By dawn, they were being hunted. Terran drones and Velari zealots both converged on their trail. To the Empire, Kalis was a traitor. To Earth, she was a target. They moved through caverns of crystal roots, ambushed patrols, stole rations. At night, they camped under glowing vines. Rylan repaired his rifle by lamplight. Kalis watched him. "Your weapons are crude, yet effective. They get the job done," he said. "Unlike diplomacy, perhaps your people should learn our ways of merging thought before war." He smiled faintly. "You'd be surprised how hard it is to make politicians share a single brain." Her laughter, soft, melodic, echoed through the cave. It was the first time he'd heard her laugh, and it hit him harder than a plasma burst. Inside the Queen's fallen citadel, they discovered the truth. Hidden archives protected by psychic seals revealed data on the war's origin. Kalis placed her hand on a glowing sigil. The walls bloomed with light, revealing holograms. Terran fleets orbiting Velar centuries ago, conducting containment operations. It was never conquest, Kalis said quietly. It was harvest. Rylan stared. "What are you talking about? Your empire needed our resonance crystal. They lied to your people. Told you we were aggressors. My mother fought to stop them." He clenched his fists. "We were the invaders." Kalis turned to him, eyes shimmering. "Now you see why I cannot be your enemy." Their discovery triggered alarms. Armored transports descended like locusts. Terran and Velari forces clashed outside the ruins. Rylan and Kalis fought side by side, he with rifle and blade, she with waves of psychic energy that rippled through the air like visible song. When a squad of drones surrounded them, she cried out and raised her arms. The drones froze mid-air, their circuits shorting under her psychic command. Rylan covered her, firing burst after burst. "Remind me never to piss you off." "You already have," she said, smiling through blood. They fell back toward the central spire, surrounded by smoke and flame. The Queen awaited them inside. Kalis's mother, tall and terrible, adorned with a living crown of light. "So," she said, her voice 1,000 harmonies. "The assassin comes, but my daughter brings him as guest." Rylan raised his weapon. "I was sent to kill you. But I think my side got the story wrong." The Queen's eyes flared. "Do you seek redemption, human?" Kalis stepped between them. "Mother, he saved me." The Queen hesitated. Then the walls trembled. Outside, Terran bombardment began anew. Kalis cried out, clutching her chest. The psychic bond seared between her and Rylan. "They will destroy us all." Rylan looked at the Queen. "Then help me stop them." Rylan climbed the spire's peak, linking his comms to Kalis's psychic network. Her power amplified his signal until his voice carried across orbit. "Terran Command, this is Commander Kane. Abort the strike. The Queen is not your enemy. I repeat, stand down, static." Then Admiral Voss's cold voice. "You've gone native, Kane. Termination authorized." Gunships descended. Rylan looked at Kalis. "Guess that's a no. Then we fight together." He nodded. "Let's make it count." The sky split as orbital beams rained fire. Kalis raised her hands, summoning a dome of light. The psychic shield shimmered, straining. Rylan fired into incoming squads, covering her flank. When the shield began to fail, Kalis screamed, and Rylan, without thinking, clasped her hands. Their bond surged, uniting flesh and thought. Human determination fused with alien resonance. The light exploded outward, blinding and pure. Every Terran drone froze mid-strike. The bombardment ceased. Admiral Voss's fleet flickered offline as the psychic pulse disarmed every weapon across orbit. Silence fell. When the smoke cleared, Rylan and Kalis knelt amid the ruins. Around them, soldiers from both sides lowered their weapons, confused, alive. The Queen stood before them, her crown dimmed but her expression serene. "You have done what war could not, human. You have shown my child hope." Kalis turned to Rylan. "You shared your life's fire with me. You risked everything." He shrugged. "You'd have done the same," she smiled. "No, I would have followed orders." He reached out and took her hand. "Then maybe it's time someone broke them." Weeks later, peace talks began on Velar Prime. Terran ships landed not as conquerors, but as guests. Rylan stood beside Kalis at the edge of the new dawn, overlooking a city reborn from crystal and light. Her voice was soft. "The bond between us remains," he smiled. "Good, I was afraid you'd ghost me." Her laugh was bright as starlight. "Such strange words you humans use." She placed his hand over her heart. "Our worlds will watch us, but I care not. You are mine, and I am yours." He met her gaze. "Then let's show them what unity looks like." From behind them, a small figure emerged. A hybrid child rescued from the war, or perhaps born of their bond. Eyes glowing with both Terran brown and a silver. The child reached for both their hands. Rylan lifted him up. "The future looks better already." The camera of the mind's eye pulled back. The human, the alien queen's daughter, and the child standing together beneath twin suns, light spilling across a healed world. Velar Prime's twin suns rose through veils of golden mist as the first Terran envoys arrived to sign the truce. The crystal courtyards of the rebuilt capital glimmered like mirrors, reflecting both human steel and alien biolight. Rylan stood beside Kalis before a grand assembly of delegates. He'd traded his armor for a ceremonial flight coat. She wore living robes that shimmered with faint life patterns. Half armor, half organic crown. When the accord was sealed, the crowd fell into a deep, harmonic silence. Then the Velari chorus sang the Oath of the Joined Flame, a ritual never before shared with outsiders. Kalis turned toward him, extended her hand, and brushed a faint silver mark over his chest. "Now your heart carries the light of Velar," he replied, "and yours carries Earth's courage." Cameras flashed. Envoys applauded. Somewhere deep within the Queen's palace, ancient sensors hummed to life, quietly recording history's first moment of peace between their species. That night, Rylan couldn't sleep. The city's new peace was fragile, and the ghosts of his fallen comrades whispered through every corridor. He wandered the glass balconies until he found Kalis meditating before the silver pool. The water rippled with bioluminescent memories. "Visions of the dead. They don't rest easily," she murmured. "Our worlds remember pain longer than they remember peace." He sat beside her. "Maybe peace isn't the absence of ghosts. Maybe it's learning to live with them." She studied him, then reached to trace a scar on his hand. "Your body carries too many wounds for one lifetime." He smiled faintly. "You should see my soul." Their reflections merged in the glowing pool, human and alien. Two shapes finally at rest. A week later, alarms cut through the night. A Terran shuttle exploded over the capital. Sabotage. Rylan was on his feet instantly, blaster in hand. Who'd attack the peace summit? Kalis's psychic senses trembled. Not all Terrans or Velari desire peace. There are factions, shadows of empires, that thrive on war. Fragments of metal rained down like dark snow. Among the debris, they found a fragment stamped with the insignia of Admiral Voss, presumed dead after the orbital battle. Rylan's jaw clenched. He's alive, and he's not done yet. Kalis's eyes darkened. Then the war is not over. It has merely changed shape. A coded transmission led them to the outer planes, where storms raged like living beasts. Lightning forked between floating spires of crystal, each bolt singing through the air. Rylan piloted a hover skimmer through the chaos. Kalis beside him channeling psychic shields to deflect the storm energy. "You trust your machines too much," she called over the thunder. "Yeah, well, my machines don't read my thoughts," he shouted back. "Perhaps they should," she teased, eyes glowing. When enemy fighters appeared on the horizon, hybrid Terran Velari craft painted black, Rylan grinned. "Guess we're not the only ones who learned to work together." They weaved through the storm, blasting foes apart while lightning framed their silhouettes. Each near miss felt like destiny defied by inches. Following the chase, coordinates led them beneath the ocean's mirror surface to an ancient Velari facility. The Labyrinth of Echoes. Bioluminescent coral formed corridors that sang as they moved. Voices of long-dead queens whispered warnings. Kalis paused before a sealed door. "This is where my ancestors bound the minds of warlords. If Voss seeks to control this power, he could enslave entire worlds." Rylan checked his rifle. "Then we make sure he doesn't." They descended deeper, discovering hybrid drones fused from human steel and alien tissue. The sight chilled them. "Your admiral is using our dead," Kalis whispered. Ryland's voice hardened. Not for long. Inside the labyrinth, they met Commander Ree, Ryland's former comrade. His uniform was scorched, eyes haunted. "Ree?" Ryland stepped forward, disbelief flooding him. "You were on the flagship. I survived," Ree rasped. "Voss showed me the truth. Humanity must rule, or be ruled." "You're siding with the butcher," Ryland said. Ree raised his weapon. "And you've gone native." Before he could fire, Kalis lifted a hand and his gun melted into ash, but Ree triggered a psychic disruptor, flooding the chamber with shrieking energy. Kalis screamed as the bond between her and Ryland spasmed with pain. He caught her before she fell. "Stay with me," her voice barely a whisper. He severed the link. "We are dying apart." Ryland lifted her into his arms. Then we put it back together. At the core lay the mind crucible, a sphere of crystal that pulsed with ancient psychic resonance. Admiral Voss awaited them there, half human, half fused with alien. "Behold what peace denies you," Voss thundered. "Power beyond speech." He extended his hand and the crucible flared, drawing on Kalis's severed energy. Ryland, fury igniting, charged forward. "You used me, used her, used everyone." Voss laughed, blasting him back. "Humans were born to dominate, Kane. The Velari exist to serve." Ryland rose, blood in his mouth. "No one was born to serve." He grasped Kalis's hand, forcing their broken bond to reconnect. Pain seared through them both, but their joined minds flared brighter than the crucible itself. Kalis whispered, "Together." Light erupted, pure, defiant, unstoppable. The crucible shattered, consuming Voss in a cascade of psychic fire that burned itself to ash. They awoke on the shore above the labyrinth. The storm, now gentle rain. Debris from the destroyed base floated on the waves, glowing softly like dying stars. Kalis touched her temple. The bond pulsed steady again. "We live." Ryland exhaled in relief. "And Voss? Gone," she said. "But his memory will warn both our worlds." The Queen arrived with Terran envoys at her side. Seeing Ryland and Kalis alive, she smiled, a rare human gesture learned from them. "Perhaps the universe needed both of you to end this darkness." Ryland looked at Kalis. "What now?" She gazed toward the horizon where dawn touched both suns. "Now we build what neither empire could, a world shared, not conquered." He took her hand. Together. Behind them, the hybrid child from before ran along the beach laughing, gathering shards of glowing crystal to form a small star in his hands. He held it up proudly, and the light reflected on their faces, a symbol of the unity they'd fought for. The camera of the mind's eye panned back one final, the family of three, human and alien, framed against twin suns rising over a new age. Once he was sent to kill the alien queen. Now he lived to guard the peace she inspired.